stop? You ready to stop? I'm ready to stop. So I just saw a friend of an old friend of mine in the audience somewhere, and we worked on a website design together a long, long time ago, and he tweeted an answer. I stopped working with Andrew Huff because I realized I could do better. No prize! Alright, so how about some of these others? I stopped having nightly dreams about Mike Madigan after I stopped taking Chantix so I could stop smoking. Where you at, Maggie? Maggie? Oh, there you are.
That's amazing.
I think you need this Bamboozler's Range. It's a wooden puzzle. You want to come grab this, or somebody pass it to me? Here we go.
Nice.
I can't see your eye. There we go.
Here it comes.
Not bad for a left-hand throw. All right.
We're suing.
Thank you.
Oh, it's wood. That didn't hurt you. That's also very, very light. I quit keeping buttons because I could never find them when I needed them anyway. Jenny? Jenny Rad? Where are you? Jenny? There you are. I have the perfect thing for you. Must-sees Chicago from Michelin. It's a nice Michelin guy. Alright. I see Stop Feeling Guilty pretty hard for a Jew. That's her words, not mine. I stopped working for overprivileged men sugar-coatedly exploiting everyone in their path. Hells yeah. Daniel, where are you at? Daniel? Come on up. You got a present. A fifth of Beethoven on vinyl. A fifth of Beethoven. I stopped shaving my armpits a month ago, and I love the breeze in my pit hair. Jenny, come on up. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that the best? Let me see what the other hand had. All right, we've got Death Stalks Door County. A fine murder mystery. All right, I thought I saw some others here. Come on, where was that? Let me see the others. Yeah, I gotta like close Twitter. I actually have to close Twitter. Come on. There we go. All right, here we go. I stopped trying to pretend I was painless in a painful world. That was the moment my life began. Mackenzie, you out there? Where's Mackenzie? You get this. I don't know if you're going to like this, but it's yours. Amazing Grace, performed by the Royal Scots Dragon Guards, Pipes, and Drums Military Band. That is the best. All right, one more. Oh, where is it here? Come on, I saw it. Here we go. I stopped because I had a flat tire. It was Paris, and you were smiling by a tree. Doobie? Where you at, Doobie? Come on up. I got something for you. You win. So this is a remarkable technological artifact. This is a cell antenna, and you can't really see from that far away, but it is some weird like printed design that you're supposed to stick onto your cell phone battery, and it'll increase your antenna. So there you go. All right. Get a big hand for all those entries. Okay, oh wait, I gotta get this back out because we got one. All right, so normally this is 20 by 2. Tonight it is 21 by 2. You guys got a bonus. Here's the deal. We originally had Britt Julius in the lineup, and unfortunately she wasn't able to be in town this weekend. She had an assignment, so she had to get out of town. And it was looking like we weren't going to get anything from her as a result, and so we lined up James GPA Gordon back there, who killed it. But when she sent it to me at like 4 today, I knew I had to include it because she went out of her way to do it. So she's not here, but Britt Julius is a born and bred Chicagoan with a curiosity for weird synthy music, shiny clothes, indulgent food, and snappy pieces of really, really good writing. She splits her time writing and co-hosting a podcast for BZ. That may have been on, actually. This is a little old. And BZ's killed almost all their podcasts. It's very sad. Freelancing for various local and national publications and sites such as Pitchfork, BuzzFeed, and Flaunt Magazine, as well as working a day job in research. In 2012, the Chicago Reader named her the city's best local writer who excels at social media. If you don't follow her, she's Briticisms on Twitter. She is a champion for the underdog and a proud black hippie. Britt unexpectedly couldn't make it tonight, but at the last minute she sent us this answer. And it is an interesting one to do. Do I have, is the remote down there? I have a script up here I have to follow. So, whenever you're ready.
Justin versus Justin. On April 3rd, 2016, Justin Bieber showed a new hairstyle to the world, clearly influenced by the uniquely coiffed do of another Canadian undergoing a surge in the public eye, otherwise known as The Weeknd. Bieber posted an image of himself with bleached blonde white boy dreads. No white pop singer had ever been foolish enough to attempt the look, but good taste, something you and I must employ as a means of everyday real-world survival, has never been his strong suit. The real question, of course, is where is Justin Timberlake? Why did you stop making music? At a career high and with the critical and commercial success of Future Sex Love Sound, Timberlake gave it up to be an actor? Actors are boring and self-righteous. Pop stars must be unique to stand out. Think of the ones we call great now, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and the ones we've always called great, a Madonna and a Prince, rest in peace. Timberlake chose a profession whose most famous contemporary archetype is bland, muscled white guy named Chris. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt. Think about it. Justin Timberlake, because you stopped making good music, the 2020 experience was an experience I'd like to forget. We must now suffer through the antics of that other Justin, as if it is okay, as if we haven't been told and had been tasted the sweet nectar of my love. Why did you stop? And when can you start making good music again? This message has been brought to you by the Coalition of Disappointed Pop Fans.
All right. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Melissa Dupre is an actor and comic and a Humboldt Park native. She has performed stand-up comedy in Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Philly, and LA. She is currently an artistic associate with the Pegasus Theater Chicago, an ensemble member with Urban Theater Company, and was recently named general manager at Free Street Theater. Melissa, come on up here, get us back in the groove, and tell us why did you stop?
Hello everyone. Hello. So my mother is a good, strong Puerto Rican woman. She loves hard, she shows me adventure, and she could slap the black off my ass. Well, she told me more than once. She was a really strong person that said, you can leave anything that is not good for you and go where the love is. And so I always took by that model. And my mother and I suffered a really traumatic incident. We suffered a home invasion where 3 men held us at gunpoint, tied us up, and she was sexually violated by one of these men. And from that point, I have never seen a person deteriorate so fast. Now her Franzia boxes turned into fifth of vodkas. And that fifth of vodka turned into her power. Everything went into this thing. And she started to go under a rock and her health deteriorated. And I don't know if anybody here in the audience has ever seen a parent fall from grace, become less of a hero than they used to be. But it is a hard thing to watch. Your parent, your hero, just not be there anymore. So after several hospitalizations because her alcoholism triggered an autoimmune disease in her body which forced her liver to start eating itself, she started to fall deeper and deeper in a medical hole that she could not sustain. So I asked myself, why? Why did you stop being my parent? But Healthy Friends at Al-Anon was like, oh, let go, let God. Trust your higher power and detach. Don't even try to change him or her. And I let go. And when I let go, that wonderful woman started to be a woman again and crawl out of her own hole. But to watch your parent fall is really hard. But when you ask them, where did they go and why did they stop? Then they start to answer their own questions. Thank you.
Andre Harps is a guitarist, composer, and writer, originally from Washington, D.C. After a decade-long stint in Brooklyn, he now lives in Chicago with his wife, two dogs, a cat, and a beloved guitar collection. On May 7th, he'll be part of a performance at Young World Galleries in Detroit. So if you want to make that trip, May 7th is your day. But first, he's going to come up here and share with us why he stopped. All right?
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So as primarily an improvising musician, stopping isn't really in my constitution. Mine is the art of flexibility, learning to adjust, pivot, and develop, all deliberately without trying to hit the brakes. This epiphany was hard fought, but fortunately I found help wherever I looked. Other musicians, literature, YouTube, videos, embarrassment, etc. So here's a little parable that I wrote to try to combine some of those lessons. It's about 20 lessons in one story. At the end of the set, a young musician walked to the stage, saxophone in hand, and asked the leader, the pianist, if he could sit in for a tune. They picked a standard that everyone would know, and they launched into the song with the younger musician in the lead. He attacked the song with every lick, trick, scale, arpeggio, quotation, squeak, holler, squawk that he ever learned. He played every note at least once and twice if it could fit in the measure. He was going to impress these masters. But when the song came to a close, and after a few cast-off platitudes are not bad or keep working, the band left the stage and moved over to the bar. Seemingly, no one was impressed. The younger player packed up his horn, summoned up his courage, and went over to the bar where the piano player was having his whiskey. So, what'd you think? He asked nervously. And after careful consideration and musing, the master offered 3 points of advice. 1, you think too much when you're playing. Stop trying so hard to be hip. You can't evaluate your playing while you're playing. The changes move too fast. Relax and let experience be your guide. Number 2, you didn't listen to the band at all. You played up and down and all around us. You gotta be more aware. Let things glide along, because every time you stick your paddle in the water, you slow the boat down. And finally, number 3, stop going around expecting reassurance. Stop bullshitting and take responsibility for your own development. The horn is just a tool. This is your true instrument. Practice hard, and if your heart is in the proper place, things will work themselves out. So there you go. Be aware, stop bullshitting, and never stop practicing.
All right. Donovan Beeson is the co-founder of the Letter Writers Alliance, which champions the sending of tangible mail in our increasingly digital world. Something we could all get behind, right?
Yeah.
She collects old office supplies and has a problem with adopting too many typewriters. You can get help. Donovan, why did you stop?
I have not stopped collecting typewriters. If you have a typewriter you would like to give to me,
Hold on just a sec, we gotta get
Sorry, technical failure.
I have a multimedia presentation. It is not in my nature to stop. I am much more of a starter than a subtractor, but I do like a challenge. So sometimes I try to make changes. There's a word I'm trying not to say. It is not a bad word. It's not even one of those speech tick words like or like. It's the word cute. It's time to stop calling things cute that aren't babies or small animals.
Yes.
Why cute? What's so bad about it? Cute no longer has any meaning. It's a reflex. It falls out of people's mouths as a reaction when their brains haven't made a decision. It is the descriptive equivalent of, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. I used to hand make stationery and cards and would count the cutes that were said as they were sold at my table. Oh, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute. These things were completely different from one another. People would say it for every single thing. I run into it working at my retail gift shop. A friend of mine says that her 3-year-old will call things cute no matter what they are. You're not saying anything. Say it's interesting, say it's clever, but mostly think about it ahead of time. It's not a game show. You're not being timed. You don't always have to have a vocal reaction to a thing. Cute does not communicate. Let's stop being ambiguous. Let's make language meaningful. The word isn't just a problem in English. The Japanese equivalent, kawaii, is equally ill-defined. This whole artistic video is all about that. You think it's going to have something to say after such a visual feast, and in the end, it is an advertisement for kawaii soup. Thanks.
That was so cute. She set me up. Lower this a little. All right. Lily B is Chicago's very own Chicona. There you go. As an accidental artist living a life of purpose, host and producer of The Stoop at Rosa's Lounge, first Latina to win a Moth Grand Slam championship, teacher at Second City and resident artist at Free Street Theater. She is a mama, a nanny, a storyteller, and a friend. She doesn't just kick ass. No, excuse me, she doesn't kiss ass, she kicks it. That would have been weird. That really would have been weird if I flipped those. I'll never ask her to stop though, but if she did, I'd want to know why. So Lily, why don't you come up here and tell us?
Out of the way. Ready? Let's do this. All right. I decided that I was gonna walk home from Chicago and Cicero because it was a nice day. I get to Augusta and Cicero and I make that right-hand turn and I hear, yeah, yeah! I turn around to see that it's my brother and his friend in the passenger side. Hey, yo, you wanna ride home? Now, 3 things about riding in a car with my brother that I'm just not crazy about. 1, I'm a catch a contact. This motherfucker smokes all the time in his car. 2, the bass in the fucking car is ridiculous. I mean, first of all, speakers ain't even bolted down. Sounds like a trunk full of tools. Fuck that. And three, the rough riding. But I get home faster and then I can go and hang out on my stoop, so fuck it. Yeah, I'll get in this damn car. We're only going to Augusta and Kedzie. Why not? Jump in, his friend jumps in the back seat. Respect, I get in the front. And it starts. We pass Cicero and we get to the next street and he is passing on the right at the stop sign. He gets to the right, zooms over, gets over and passes. I am now irked by this because guess what? We're in the fucking hood, dude. You smoking weed, you rough riding, we're gonna get pulled over. Stop. He like giggles. Lily, you just being lame. Alright, he keeps doing it. Block after block, he is passing on the right. I'm not in a rush. Why are you rushing? And he's still doing it and doing it. We get to Pulaski, and I'm like, look, dude, if you don't fucking stop passing on the right, I'm gonna fucking jump out of this car. He's like, damn, chill. His friend in the back is like, she's serious. And we stop, and we go to the next stop, Central Park. He gets to the side. I'm like, bitch, if you do this, nah, I'm just kidding. I just want to see what you did. What you did. He lets the cars go. And in that instant, a car runs the red and flips the car. It flips in front of us. And we freeze because we know what just happened. And if you ask my brother why he stopped that day, he'll tell you, because Lily motherfucking said so. Thank you.
Never asked her to stop. Artist and designer Matthew Hoffman is most proud of his resonant You Are Beautiful project. The project started small, with 100 stickers placed throughout Chicago, and then caught on worldwide. Now the message appears on more than 2.5 million stickers in over 80 languages, and on everything from plywood plaques to sneakers. In February, just a couple months ago, Logan Square's Gallery F invited nearly 200 artists to redesign the iconic stickers. Other collaborations have been a little more site-specific. For instance, at the invitation of fellow artist J.B. Daniel, Matthew installed large-scale words in Pullman's Market Hall that dared residents to go for it, quote-unquote, go for it. His works straddle the line between public art and placemaking, encouraging observers to reflect and react. And he's not going to get up here, but he is in the audience right there. Wave. There you go. He didn't want to get up. Now he'd like you to reflect on this video, answering why he stopped.
Why I stopped. Why I stopped listening to those who told me I wasn't good enough, especially when those unrelenting voices were in my own head. Why I stopped believing that there was a pre-described perfect life and that there was a certain way that I was supposed to be. Why I stopped hating myself for not being able to live up to untouchable ideals that didn't even exist in reality. Why I stopped being jealous of others because I thought they had it all together, that they had more, that they had better. Why I stopped comparing. Why I stopped being so scared. Why I stopped fighting against myself and instead fighting for myself and others. And why I stopped doing nothing about it. Why I started saying enough is enough. Why I started realizing that we only have one shot at this thing. Why I started taking chances. Why I started a quiet protest that has risen to loud chants. A protest song to slow those who might put down instead of build up. A song to stop those who tear apart instead of put together. A song that if not to stop, then to be there and to start again. To put back the pieces when the worst happens. So why, except to remind us that we're all human? So why, besides the idea to just be there for each other? So why, to never forget one simple thing?
only have 5 left. How you feel? Feeling good? All right. How many of you guys have eaten at Hot Dogs? Just checking ahead of time. A graduate of the culinary program at Kendall College, Doug Sohn has held at least 4 or 5 jobs in the food industry. Most notably, he was a vendor at both Wrigley Field and Comiskey Park in the 1980s at the same time, or same season? Same season. There you go. He cooked in restaurants, catering companies, and corporate dining facilities before becoming a cookbook editor in the latter part of the 20th century. And then one day, a friend ate a bad hot dog, resulting in the opening of Hot Dogs, the sausage superstore, in 2001. Closed in 2014, you may have heard, I don't know, something about it. It was kind of famous in between, right? Yes. He now oversees the Hot Dogs concession stand in the bleachers at Wrigley Field and feels personally responsible for the Cubs' recent success. He also, the podcast is still going, right?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. So he has the Untitled podcast.
Untitled Hour.
Untitled Hour, excuse me. Untitled Hour.
I didn't put that in.
I know. I'm giving you a little plug. It's all right. Like you needed more plugs. All right, let's get right to it. Doug, why did you stop?
Why did I stop? Now, there's a question I haven't been asked approximately 17,000 times. So I truly thought about how to properly answer this question. I thought about tackling it from a purely philosophical standpoint. After all, I wouldn't want that major to go to waste. Responses like, why does anyone stop? Do we ever stop? Why do we start? But I have to fill 2 minutes and I don't have those answers either. I said I majored in philosophy, I didn't say I actually went to class. By the way, I would like to point out Barack Obama and I, same college, same time. Apparently he went to class. I also thought about answering with a political slant. After all, it seemed that the timing would be apropos, but that seemed potentially divisive and not really sufficient. I thought about answering from an artistic viewpoint, but an utter lack of artistic talent quickly put the kibosh on that approach. Religiously, it is in fact the second night of Passover. Shouldn't I be answering 4 questions? But I truly can't believe 14 people ahead of me, no one did that bit. Sexually, thought about it, still don't feel so good. Finally, I approached it from a socioeconomic perspective, but I have no idea what the hell that means. The real answer, if I had to ask one more goddamn tourist, would you like that steamed or grilled, Lalo would have had to scrape my brains off the MF and deep fryer.
Grilled always, right? Nell Taylor is the founder and executive director of Read Write Library in Humboldt Park, and is a user experience designer and search strategy consultant. She is a 2015-2016 Creative Community Fellow, where she received the honor of being named, quote-unquote, most likely to inspire us to do some work by her cohort. An award she promptly burned in a bonfire. Hide your matchbooks, because she is about to spend 2 minutes answering the question, why did you stop?
Burnout isn't for everyone. Symptoms may include living in a construction zone for 2 years with no kitchen, washing your dishes and making coffee in the bathroom sink, defrosting adjusting the underside of your washing machine with a hairdryer for prolonged periods of time by hip checking it into the wall and balancing freezing macaroni and cheese over your head. Having the back wall of your home collapse while what looks like blood seeps through another wall every time the heat cycles on. Having 2 days notice to combine your boyfriend's boxes, furniture, and cats with yours so that he can leave for China the next day. Having your contractor cut your 600 square feet of furniture Jenga down to 300 square feet the day after with a temporary plywood wall so he can tear down the bleeding wall which causes a third wall to collapse. Developing a 10-cup of coffee a day habit to cope with the 80-hour work weeks to get enough billable hours to pay for the walls. Delusions may include thinking it's noble to say yes to any gig, traveling for 4 hours on a round trip to Schaumburg on the CTA, only to discover the point where the sidewalk literally ends at the edge of a decorative wall. Rationalizing the decision then to cross Higgins Road and walk along the on-ramp and through your client's parking lot, which may result in repetitive behavior, such as doing this weekly for 6 months. See a doctor immediately if you are shop vacuuming 60 gallons of water out of your flooding basement, shop vacuuming broken mirrors, razor blades, and sludge out of your tenant's new plumbing because they threatened you with their parents' lawyer to avoid ever cleaning their bathroom, while hiding the can of gasoline you told them to get rid of behind the furnace. Shop vacuuming your sludged up shop vac with a new shop vac, or feeling like your shop vac is the only one who understands you. If your home suddenly hatches thousands of flies because you have plywood walls and live off an alley, it may appear that your new normal is drinking tequila and blasting dew metal and killing flies at 3 a.m. When you've killed all the flies and only occasionally have to hairdry the washing machine and are no longer being cyberstalked, which is another 2 minutes, you may find yourself unable to stop taking more work or drinking more coffee. But it will stop eventually when you least expect it, nestled in the gentle hose of your shop vac.
That is all true, by the way. Ask her later. Unfortunately, Jim Coudal, who was supposed to join us, has season tickets to the Blackhawks. And earlier this week they won in, double overtime or triple? And so he is not here tonight because he is watching the game. However, that just meant we have more room for our next guest. Cinnamon Cooper is a curious gal who grew up in South Central Ohio, which is nowhere near as cool as that sounds. She lives in West Ridge with one lucky husband and 3 asshole cats, and has the best neighbors ever. She's at Cinechick everywhere that matters on the internet, and encourages you to look up her cast iron cookbook and make dinner for your friends. And she is helping run the show tonight. So Cinnamon, come on up here and tell us, why did you stop?
My father was a horrible liar. He was also an alcoholic, a drug addict, and abusive. In 1983, my mother, my brothers, and I ran from him and his chainsaw in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes on our backs. We spent a few months living in a domestic violence shelter where we felt safe, inside. I knew he was looking for us in his blue Ford pickup truck. I watched and I listened vigilantly for that truck every time I went outside, and I saw it more than once. In 1997, I moved to Chicago and I quit looking, or so I thought. Last year, while taking a walk on my lunch break, I heard an engine rev behind me. Without a thought, I hid in a nearby doorway as I watched a refurbished version of this truck drive by. It took hours for me to stop shaking. For Christmas, my lucky husband bought me a DNA testing kit. I got my results and I found out that I am 99.6% Northern European, and most of that is English and Irish. And this tiny bit of knowledge made me want more, so I fell down a rabbit hole of genealogy research, and it was awesome. I used a website to compare information from my mom with information in public databases and newspaper archives, and I traced back generation after generation after generation. I'm currently on 12 generations. A few weeks ago, though, I got an automated email about a record match with the Social Security Death Index. My father's Social Security number matched that of a man who died in Florida. His name is common, I am dubious, so I Googled it. I found this on the Broward County Sheriff's website, and I contacted the detective for verification. He confirmed that on June 11th, 2009, my father was extremely intoxicated and he stumbled while pushing his bike and a case of beer through a busy intersection. His legs were run over by a truck. Not this truck. And he died later that evening due to complications from surgery. It's been 32 years since I last saw him. It's been 7 years since he died. But a sense of curiosity and the beauty of the internet are why I stopped being afraid of my father.
Inez Balina is a writer, translator, and performer. She is a YA writer and co-producer of the monthly live lit show Is This a Thing? And has read at Story Club, Serving the Sentence, The Kates, The Marrow, Misspoken, and other events around town. Inez is also one of the hosts of XX Will Travel, a podcast geared towards the independent woman traveler. When she's not overscheduling herself, she sings love songs to her bulldog, whose name is Charlie, by the way. Inez, why did you stop?
You, sir, are a very important author, and I am but a young woman from Peru trying to pay rent. I'm picking up your book to avoid expulsion from the zeitgeist, deportation from the literati, and banishment from the intelligentsia. I've been told you are an intellectually stimulating experience that will alter my worldviews because you have examined humanity's soul in a way that only a white, educated, heterosexual man can do. And as I skim your magnum opus, it is clear that I'm reading serious literature with a capital S for shitty and a capital L for lazy. The greatest book of our time is about a middle-aged male writer, a thinly veiled stand-in for a very important author who is filled with generational malaise. This can only be overcome by cheating on his frigid spouse with a nubile